One thing we always talk about here at DMF is building your financial foundation. Looking at your financial foundation, one of your key components is your retirement pay. How much money have you saved to generate a retirement income when that time does come? Do you know how much money do you need? Most likely you will say no, but do you know how much money you're going to receive right now if you retire today? Do you know how much money do you have saved on your retirement? And do you know how long will that money last you at your retirement age? If I retire at 65, do I have enough money to cover me for 10, 20, 25 years, or even 5 years? Because sometimes we don't even think about that. Is Social Security the only avenue that I have for retirement? Those things are the questions you might want to ask yourself. Do not wait until you're into your mid 50s, early 60s, and now you're thinking about all these options on it. Okay, going into that, we're going to be talking about real quick about the 401ks and Roth IRA. What is a Roth product? Well, that is an investment product either you're going to utilize through an investor or you're going to utilize within your employer. A 401k Roth means that the money that you're putting into that specific investment tool is already been taxed, which means that you already paid taxes on that money. At the time of your retirement, you're going to be withdrawing that money tax-free. So if you have within your employer something called a 401k and it is a Roth, or do you have a private individual retirement account, which is called an IRA, and it's a Roth, then that's what you're looking at. But there's certain limits to this, how much money you can put into. Because Uncle Sam is not going to let you ride the whole time free, right? So let's go into that right now real quick. I'm going to be talking right now, everybody under the age of 50. For example, if you have a Roth IRA, your maximum limit that you can put into your Roth IRA, which is an individual retirement account, is $7,000 per year. That's it. That's your max amount of money that you can put into that. Which means if you have a Roth, the money you put it into your Roth IRA, you cannot discount that money from your tax. Why do I say that? Because at the end of the day, you're not going to be paying taxes on the earnings of that money. So Uncle Sam wants their money from. So that money, you cannot go ahead and deduct it. If you have a traditional IRA or a traditional 401k through your employer, whatever money you're contributing, then you can deduct that money and that on your taxes of that year. Did I make myself clear? Perfect. Okay. So on the individual retirement account, which is something you personally got to do and set up, the max limit is $7,000 if you're under the age of 50. If you're over 60, it's $8,000. Okay. Now on your employer, when on the employer, a lot of the employers, they do what is called matching. They can probably match a certain percentage of what you put into up to a specific dollar amount. There's a limit how much your employer does. Something within your employer you might want to talk. How does that work? Well, the annual contribution between that is $23,500. That is the max that you can put into. So my question to you is to be able to go back to whoever has those accounts set up for you. Ask questions. How much money can I contribute to this retirement account? Is it through your employer or is it through your financial advisor? Ask them the question, how much money can I put into these funds to make sure they have a type of retirement account? Now, also ask them on this specific event, how much money am I looking at having at my retirement age? Once you understand that number that they're going to be giving you, then you be like, okay, how much money can I get out of my retirement account per year so I can live out of that? Once you have that specific number, whatever you have contributed to your Social Security, you can go to socialsecurity.gov and find out how much money you're going to be receiving at the time you decide to collect your retirement. So it could be 62, 65, or 70 years old if you want to wait all for the full max, okay? Hopefully this information helps you guys understand a little bit more about your retirement planning and what you currently are having if you do have this type of product part of your retirement portfolio. Okay? Now, as we talked about 401k and all that stuff, I'm going to talk to you guys real quick also. How does this the Roth IRAs and the 401ks work. Remember, these type of elements that you guys see in here, this is something that's going to be utilized, invested within the stock market. Great thing about those type of products that you're going to see, whenever it's a high gain in the market, you're going to receive the high gains on it, the full benefit, right? Benefits on it. Now, let's say at the same time frame, as we look at that, also, let's say if you have a great loss, you're also going to gain the loss from it, okay? Now, one thing you want to ask is, how much is this plan costing? So, what are my fees? What are they? How much are you paying for your 401k or for your Roth IRA? What is your monthly fees? What is your annual fees? On top of the losses, how much fees am I paying on this? So I already have a product that is not secure, right? And the product that has fees. So what are my costs? Okay, and those are the type of questions you want to ask, all right? I just want to make sure you guys understand what you do have. Now we understand some of those questions. What other thing is the Roth or the IRA comes up to? All right, how much money can I get out of it? So can I get loans out of it? Yes, you can get loans out of these. Depending on the product and who you have it, it's a limit to it, right? You're going to have a limit, and it's going to come at a cost, all right, on the whole aspect. Once you take out loans from this specific product right here, once you take out a loan, what happens to your balance? All right, which means that your balance is going to go down. Example, if I have $100,000 on my 401k and I take a loan out of $50K, I'm only going to have $50K left, right? 1 + 1 = 2, which means I'm only earning on the $50K. So whatever money is on the account is what you're going to be earning from. Those are things you want to look into. By the way, since you took out the loans, we already said that loans are tax-free, right? But guess what? You got to pay the loan back, right? Now that we look at that specific event, what happens if you're under the age of 59 and a half, and you want to take some money out? If you want to do a withdrawal, and you're under the age of 59 and a half, you're going to have a 10% income tax penalty of the money that you withdraw. All right? Want you guys to understand that if you withdraw anything from your retirement account and you're under the age of 59 and a half, which means on that is you're going to have a 10% penalty. So what am I talking about? Let's just go ahead and look at this. If I need a loan from my 401k, there's a limit how much money I can get. Usually it's 50% of whatever balance you have, up to $50,000. Some could be different in different things. You want to check with your specific plan. How does that work and how do they do loans, okay? You can have multiple loans depending on your company and the type of strategy you have. You can probably have multiple loans. They want to tell you how much you can loan out. So, good thing about it, it's tax-free. You don't pay taxes on your loan, but you're going to pay a fee for taking out that loan out, for one. And two, there's going to be interest acquired for it. And three, when you take that money out from the principal, or whatever balance is within the 401k, you're only going to be making money out of the leftover money that is within that retirement account. Does that make sense? Perfect. Let's just do a quick little learnings on this. Roth means that whatever money you're contributing into your retirement account, whether it's a 401k or IRA, which is an individual retirement account, that money, when you start withdrawing, it's going to be tax-free, okay? Which means is during the year of contribution, whatever money you contribute up to that $7,000 that we have talked about, if you're doing it individually, up to $23,000, $500, if you're doing it combined with your employer, that money cannot be tax deducted on that specific year for contribution. If you're doing a traditional IRA or a traditional Roth, which means on the traditional side of the house, when you start withdrawing that money at your retirement age, that money is going to be taxed. Okay, so if you reach whatever monthly money you're receiving at that age, that's going to be taxed. But whatever you contribute into that specific year, you're going to receive a tax deduction of your contribution that specific year. All right, that's traditional IRA. Those are the big difference. Hopefully this helped you guys understand a little bit basics about your traditional IRAs and your Roth IRAs. How does it work? What is your limit? My advice to you guys is to look whoever you have invested with, whoever your financial advisor is, or whatever retirement account you have with your employer, and verify what are the ins and outs with your specific product that you currently have. All right. This goes over for 403B, TSPs, and all that stuff. They all have the same type of benefits or options that you can utilize within those. All right. Now, I'm going to be talking to you about in another video something very important. Wouldn't you like to know one thing real quick? So we identify the Roth and the traditional. How does it work? How you can get a loan? How much money if you take your money out? What are you being paid? What if you took $50,000 out? You're only making out of the $50,000. Hopefully there's not a loss. If there's a gain, great. Got it. Okay. Now, wouldn't you guys like to know if there is a product out there? Okay, so remember we started at $100,000. Let's say you have $100,000 in your account, right? Wouldn't you like to have an account that you take $100,000? Let's say you have that and you got $50,000 that you can take out on a loan, right? And if you take out that $50,000, you still got $100,000 that's still being earning gains on. Send me a text, give me a call. I'll go over that option depending on the state that you are. I will explain to you how that's worked and continue. So what I'm saying is you can take this $50,000 out, but you're still making $100,000 on that year. There's some limits to it, but if you have any questions, send me a text and I'll go ahead and explain that to you. Success for the best. Have a blessed one. Take care.